Hello and welcome to Camp Xbox. A question I often see is, what are some good family games playable on the Xbox? The Xbox was a console aimed at an older crowd with mini shooters and M-rated titles. That doesn't mean there weren't games you could play with the whole family. Today I picked out 6 that would be fun for everyone in the family. This means that it's suitable for younger audiences, and since family is plural, I wanted to include games that featured some type of multiplayer. If you want a list for single-player children's games, let me know in the comments because I think that would be a fun list as well. All footage was captured from an original Xbox, and I want to thank my YouTube channel members for their support. But let's go ahead and hop into this one. First up is a classic in my eyes, LEGO Star Wars 2: The Original Trilogy. This, along with the first entry, defined what LEGO games would be to this day. And though those games have transformed, it's still easy to hop back into these older ones. I think it's a blast for both young and old. I chose this over the first entry because some of the gameplay is more polished, and I just like the original trilogy stories and settings better. However, that one is a great choice as well. You play as many different Star Wars characters in LEGO form in this game. You roam through the most famous scenes from the first 3 Star Wars movies, and you complete a lot of puzzles and fight off little LEGO figures. This game is a 2-player local co-op experience perfect for all ages. I mean, all ages enjoy LEGOs, and the way it's worked into the game design and look is terrific. The setting of the movies come to life, and they find ways to build so many secrets in each level. There's so much to explore, and many of the puzzles are more complicated than you'd imagine, meaning it's fun for multiple people to put their heads together and figure out the puzzles. The gameplay is simple to understand, as most of it consists of an action button and jumping, and there's a massive variety in characters, all with their own skills such as Jedi powers or sticky grenades. Once you run through the level, you can use any character to explore these levels and find the secrets hidden throughout. You have to do this to get that coveted 100%, which takes a while, but the amount of replay value packed into this game is a blast. This game supports widescreen and looks excellent on the Xbox. It helps the cutscenes, which, looking back now, are some of the best parts of this game. Unlike some modern LEGO games, the stories have to be pantomimed, and it's all done through mumbles instead of voice acting. I've always loved how Traveler's Tales was able to interpret scenes from the movies in this style and pack it with humor. It was funny then, and it still manages to be funny now. I think this game is one that many kids grew up with, and I think it would be perfect for kids today. With 2 players, I could see this being a really great game night. Next, let's talk about Marvel Ultimate Alliance. This is a rated T for teen game, but to be honest with you, this game does not push any envelopes. If you're okay with Marvel movies, then you're pretty safe here. Definitely good for families, but if you want to be on the safer side, maybe older children. Marvel Ultimate Alliance is similar in vein to LEGO Star Wars, where you play a group of characters, but here it is more action-oriented and less about puzzles. Also, the story is its own crafted Marvel plot, where you can use a roster of different Marvel characters. A great feature in my eyes because this game gives you so many heroes and a huge mix of powers, and it's easy to swap between them and make a new team. It's fresh and dynamic. Controls-wise, this game is very simple. You walk up to enemies and you attack. You can level up your characters with a simple leveling system which gives you special fun powers to use. Every hero has powers unique to them, and it makes for something that is continually fresh. If you like comics, you're gonna love the Rogues Gallery that comes with this game, all with unique lines. If you have a hero facing off against a villain they normally go off against, you get unique dialogue. These moments are nice touches and feel like the developers wanted to create a true comic book experience. It captures that comic book feeling with a good amount of text, but it's mostly voiced and it's a good time. Though most of your time will be spent beating up bad guys and moving along through different areas, leveling up along the way. It's easy, and it's another late Xbox game like LEGO Star Wars 2, and I think since this one also has a 360 release like that one, it's able to take on the stronger sides of the original Xbox, supporting 720p and widescreen, and it looks excellent. I haven't mentioned it yet, but this game is 4-player co-op, which is awesome. Everyone plays on the screen together, and I've played a lot of this game that way, and it's a chill way to spend a night. It's simple enough to talk over, but you can have fun just beating up bad guys. It's a nice light experience, and I love a co-op story with 4-player co-op. Being able to experience it with an entire family seems perfect for a game night together, and I think it's worth seeking out.
This one's out.
So this next one will be a bit of a surprise to some of you. It's Fuzion Frenzy, which many of you know I don't really love. It's got that Xbox looking style, but I always felt like a lot of the mini-games were weak. Yet I included it here for 2 reasons. One, I know many of you played this with your families growing up, or even play with your families today. And 2, I played this with my family growing up, so I felt like I had to include it. Though we only played the same 4 mini-games over and over, I still think it's a good time for everyone. Fuzion Frenzy's exterior might seem edgy, but it's really not, and it's perfectly friendly for kids. If anything, it has a really neat look that is representative of the early 2000s. Lots of greens and an odd futuristic style that makes it feel close to the aesthetic that the Xbox was going for. This is a party game where you go round and round facing off against other people, and it's playable with 4 people. It's not as in-depth as the Mario Party games. It's more about the mini-games than going around collecting stars or moving on the board. This is all hinged on whether you're good at the games or not, a type of competition that can keep everyone engaged. There are a few key minigames that I do enjoy, like most of the vehicle ones where you go around and grab points, or Sumo in particular. This one has you on giant orbs and you knock each other off. I could just play this in Fuzion Frenzy and be happy. There are a few other gems, like one where you're on a spiral and you have to time your dodges and jumps over obstacles, and this can get down to the edge, but it's a ton of fun. In my opinion though, I do find there is some laziness in game design, with a lot that involves picking up orbs and punching opponents repeated, and also there's the racing ones, which control fine, but the courses are extremely simple, and after one time of doing them, there is zero variety there. Though, do I think kids will mind that? No, not really, and obviously not, because there's still plenty of people who love Fuzion Frenzy. This is a controversial opinion of mine. I do have to say, aesthetically, it's a knockout, and it's just a cool looking game on the Xbox. I like the grimy city feeling this game has, and for a party game, it has a cohesive feel. The funky soundtrack is great too, and is so much fun. There's a lot to like here, and you can play the main party mode, or you can just play mini games and face off that way, which is what I recommend. Yet any game with a group is going to increase the entertainment factor, and this one would be really great with 4 people.
Zach wins the game!
Next, let's talk about Shrek, specifically Shrek Super Slam. But I want to give a shout out to Shrek 2, which is another good one. I went for Shrek Super Slam because this game does not get a ton of love, and I think it's a great time, especially if you get some people. This is a Shrek fighting game, and I won't say it's near perfect by any means. As far as fighting games go, it's unbalanced, but it is one of those games that offers up pure entertainment. Being tied to Shrek, you know you're in for something the whole family can enjoy. Kids will especially love this one if you plan on playing as a group, and you'll be doing this in the tournament mode. Here, 4 people fight in multiple arenas, and your goal is to hit your opponents enough to charge up your Super Slam, which allows you to knock out your opponents outside of the stage. Do this enough and you win. It's a great design and simple to understand. It's insanely chaotic too. All of the characters have some insane moves and fights, and seeing them all fly off the screen is a blast. This is a multiplayer only game, and the main story does not have a co-op mode, which is a bit of a missed opportunity. The main story is a fun arcade mode with a cool bedtime story setup, and the challenge mode is where the bulk of gameplay lies. Here you go through various fights, and they'll have different types of parameters that will flip the gameplay on its head. These modes would be great for any solo family member, but this list is intended for everyone. Luckily, the competitive angle of this will last you hours and offer a ton of fun stages with dynamic backgrounds and objects. The strong roster is here too, with some seriously weird pulls all around the Shrek movies, and they're surprising to see, but I find that fun. There's a lot of creativity going into this Shrek fighting game. It may not be amazing, but it's at least a great time with a group. If you have a family member that loves fighting games or brawlers, this one would be a great pick. Next is an odd one on the list, but it is one that I feel is perfect. That's Midway Arcade Treasures. The first one, because the second one is a bit more violent, and this one has a bit more variety than the third entry. This is rated T, but these old school arcade games are mostly inoffensive. I think Smash TV, which has a bit of violence, gives this one its rating. I think these classic game collections are great pickups for the family because you have people who might have enjoyed these when they were younger, and then you have kids that are discovering classics. Classic collections like this one and the Namco Museum titles made me the retro game lover that I am today. Right off the bat, this game is a huge collection of arcade titles. It's pretty much an odd man out situation when it comes to single player, because most of these at least allow for 2 players. Only 4 games here support 3 to 4 players, but those are some of the best of the bunch. First off, you have Rampage, which is a classic that has lasted forever. The gameplay design is addictive and simple to pick up. You just play a giant monster and you go around and smash up the city. It's kinetic with so many things going on the screen, and though it is competitive, at least with the score, this multiplayer has that cooperative feeling because everyone's trying to destroy the city. You have Rampart, which is an odd one because you build a castle with cannons and you defend yourself. It's an arcade strategy game, and it's fun for doing something different. You also have the racing game Super Sprint, which is a top-down racer. It's a bit hard on the joystick since it was played with a wheel, but you can get some good races in here. And I always found over-the-head view racing games like this to just be a blast, especially with creative tracks like this one has. The best on the list here is Gauntlet, which supports 4 people. This game is tough alone, but when you get a group of people with all the different classes and you take on enemies, it's amazing. It's a simple team experience of just trying to stay alive, get points, and wipe out enemy spawns. The simplicity here works with the fast nature of the game to make something that is infinitely replayable. Those are all of the over 2-player games, but with 2 people, you can still have a great time, with great games like Robotron, which is an early twin-stick shooter that rocks. Marble Madness is another one I really love, and then there's one that I think a lot of people forget about, which is Splat, where you pick up veggies and you throw them around. This one's great. There's a whole mix of things here that the family can just roll through and try out in a night. It's a great collection of classics.
I've not seen such bravery. Ooh. Oh.
The final game on this list is one that I have a soft spot for, and that's Thrillville. This theme park simulation game gets a worse reputation than it deserves. Of course, not on the same level as Roller Coaster Tycoon, but it still has a lovely kid-friendly charm. It's easy to build up a theme park and make insane coasters. You don't have to go through the physics or anything, you just get to be as creative as possible. A perfect game for a kid, but most of the stuff is single player. But you do get a bunch of fun and creative multiplayer games hidden underneath to make a great party game. Thrillville is all about its mini games and the other mix of things thrown in here. It's a grab bag of experiences, and this makes for a solid party game with a group of 4. There's these first-person shooter arenas, all in these weird maze-like settings. It's not violent because it's only robots, and it's easy to play. You also get a Gauntlet knockoff here, which it's Gauntlet, so you know you're in for a good time. You have soccer, which has you using hovergraphs to score goals, another one that is simple, easy, fun, and it feels a bit like an early version of Rocket League, but of course it's a lot simpler. You have Sparkle Island, which is one that I always think about when I think about these Thrillville minigames. It's a mix of Bubble Bobble and Flicky, and you need to pick up birds and bring them to the exit while dodging enemies. This game gets tougher and tougher as you go along, and it's a great multiplayer experience. There are almost too many games to go into here because this is a huge collection. I don't think all of them are amazing, but I don't think any of them are bad either. There's a nice mix of shoot 'em ups in here, you have mini golf and racing, which they might have a simple title, but what spices these up is you can build your own race courses and mini golf courses and play them in-game. This variety mixed with creativity is just something entertaining. Alone, I think this is a solid game for children, But as a family, you can play a nice mix of multiplayer party games that bring a ton of variety. I think this one is great for everyone. But that wraps it up for this list today. It is only 6 options and I know there's more, so be sure to tell me in the comments below what I missed because I would love to create another list. Leave a like because it really helps me out in the algorithm, subscribe to keep up with more retro Xbox content, and be sure to check out my second channel, Camp Extras, where I cover more retro games. And I want to give a shout out to my YouTube channel members. Thank you so much for your support, you really help out the channel, and I'll see you here next time at Camp Xbox.